Hello, everybody. Hello, viewers. Welcome back to the GAC channel, Global Alliance channel. We are blessed to be hosting our CEO, the founder of this channel. We want to have a candid, raw, and exclusive interview with our CEO. Welcome, Bwana CEO. Who are you? What is your name? And tell us what you do and what you stand for, please.
Thank you so much. Welcome, viewers. Welcome to the Global Alliance channel, that is the GSC in short. Delighted to be having this interview with our correspondent. My name is Moses Ojunju, famously known as Prince Moses from my social media handles. I'm fairly 30 years old. I'm the founder, I'm the CEO of GSC. GSC originated from concepts surrounding climate change.
Yes.
And because whatever I do relates to it, I thought we needed to have a global channel that is going to talk about these kind of issues. Moses Ojunju is from a family of 7. I've got 7 siblings. I'm third born, but I'm the firstborn son. So I have 3 other brothers and 3 other sisters. My dad and mom are both alive, and we reside from the areas of Nyatike, Otachola Ward, and Echo Village. That is in Migori County. Yeah.
Okay, what do you do at the moment?
I work for an international organization that implements issues dealing with regenerative agriculture and climate change, and also the carbon markets.
Okay, as a firstborn son in a family of 6, growing up, how was your childhood? Please, would you mind telling us more about your childhood, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your relationship with your siblings, please? So,
As a firstborn son, I have to say I grew up in a family of a religious family that is based on Seventh-day Adventist doctrines, and it was marvelous. My dad was a teacher, and so we were raised in that kind of system, very strict family system, and of course religious based system. I went to local primary schools in Aneko, and my relationship with my siblings were quite tight because we were brought up in the religious based family. So we were loving each other, we were helping each other. There are roles for women and there were also roles for the boys. So I was tackling my roles for the boys as the leader, because my dad regarded me as the master. He used to call me master. He regarded me as the leader. I had to take care of, tend to the cows. We had to go and plow. We had to go to the farms in the morning, and so he used to tell us to have the virtue of being responsible, and so we tackle that to the core.
okay, let me ask you, as somebody who was raised in a very strong Christian background, what are some of the virtues that you wish to carry on and even extend to your family, your kids maybe? What are some of the virtues that were instilled in you as a young boy growing up?
First, my dad taught us to be really responsible. He taught us to go to school, because my dad had a slogan that you all have to go to school, and irrespective of the school that will need you during a sit-up for KCPE examinations, he will take you there, irrespective of anything. So he instilled the virtue of education in us, and I would instill it to younger generations, and instill it to my family, and instill it to anyone that I meet. You have to go to school, because that is the moment the school will open your eyes to the outside world, to know more about how people live. And that is one. Two, respect. My dad was a respectful man. He was respected in the community, and he always wants us to respect people. So I believe respect is a virtue, is a value, a Christian-based value that anyone must have, and I have to instill it to my next generations. Another thing, it taught us to be so smart and hardworking. You see, as a young person, we used to be really hardworking with the things that he was giving us. We were not lazy. He used to give us duties, and we were doing them. So hard work pays. You have to be hardworking and smart at the same time to reach your destination. Also, empathy. When a neighbor is feeling bereaved, when a neighbor is not, when anyone around you is in crisis, empathy is a virtue that it taught us. You should be generous, and you should extend a helping hand to people that in dire need. Also, prayers and being prayerful is a virtue that I learned to have, because my dad used to pray for us every morning and every evening. We used to go to church every Saturdays. So it taught us to have a family that is having a background in prayers. And I believe I really have to be prayerful in my daily activities, because God opens doors to so many other things.
Oh, that's so great. That's a great foundation. And as a firstborn son in such a setup, people always say that most boys always tend to lean on the mother's side. What are some of the things you learned through your mom, and maybe you'll wish, maybe if you'll wish to see in your daughter, you'll wish to see in your wife, and some of the things that you really loved and associate with your mom?
Oh, my mom braced as well, because she gave birth to us. And my dad says one thing, that you are seven, and there is no point any of you was burnt. We don't have marks in our bodies. So that makes it possible to understand that my mom, despite having many kids and having many roles to play, was hugely responsible. So I would love to have somebody someday who is equally or hugely responsible, taking care of the family, taking care of the husband, taking care of herself, taking care of so many other things, and not complaining. So apart from that, I think my mom was very close to us. She was the friend, because my dad was very cruel. We could not approach him. We could not really. I was not so close to my dad until late, when I'm now big. But you see, my mom was so welcoming. She never used to beat us that hard. At least correct you here and there. And yeah, so I try to relate with friendliness. You have to have a friend around you. If you someday get a wife, she has to be a friend to you. She has to understand you deeply. She has to take care of you as a mother, as a sister, and as a wife, because that is the beauty of love. Uh, mhm.
Okay. What is your understanding of a mommy's boy? And are you a mommy's boy?
And oh, my understanding of mommy's boy is a man who relates to the mother, and who depends on the mother for so many things, including advices that he has in his relationship. And the mom has to say everything that happens in his life, including what he has to eat. Maybe after his work, he calls them, "Mom, I'm so hungry. I don't know what to eat." And depending on the mother for everything in his life. And I am not a mama's boy. I love my mom so much. I used to be so close to my mom, but there has to be that limit. The limits that you have to reach with your mom must always be there. So when you are in serious relationships, because you can't listen to your mom, you can't take your issues that you have in relationships to your mom, and she advises you on maybe what you need to do. You have to focus on you and your family as at that moment.
Okay, I can see you are very smart. I don't know if maybe growing up you saw how your mom used to take good care of your dad, ironing his clothes, and or who did you emulate with this smartness while growing up? Is it your mom or your dad?
I think I was generally born to be smart. You can't be smart in one area and leave the other areas. You have to
Yes.
be smart in your brains, and that instills being smart even the way you dress. That instills the smartness at your workplace. That instills the smartness to how the aura that you have with people around you. So I associate smartness with, of course, parents, but largely, while growing up and while going to different levels of institutions where I studied, you also find other people, you fancy the lives of other young guys doing so well and so better. And you say, I also need to do way, way better than I am right now. So I am smart, and I give credits to so many other people that inspires me every day. And I want to do more. I want to be smarter. I want to be the CEO of this global channel and make it to the apex there where big guys are.
Okay, would you mind maybe painting for us a picture of your daily to day activities while growing up? Because this, like I said, this is a candid and raw and exclusive interview specifically about our CEO.
While growing up, just like I said, we were a religious based home. And of course, there had to be aspects of us. Saturdays going to church in the morning, throughout the day, singing. I took part in choir. I took part in a lot of singing groups. I am a good singer, by the way. That is something that so many people do not know. And I'm a
Ah,
composer as well. I have a talent in singing. If you go back to my high school, Sawagongo High School, that is where I studied for the 4 years, they will tell you that I was the choir master from Form 1 to Form 4. I just entered the school and they heard my voice and they said, you know what, you are the school choir master. And I did that. I tackled that so well. So on Saturdays, we would go to church. Mondays to Fridays, of course, those are school days. But there were aspects of holidays. We are going to tunaenda shambani, for example, and I take care of our cows. We had a lot of animals back then. I had to do that. Maybe fetching some water. My home is not so far from some water. We have a river just around our home. So sometimes I would help with house chores. I would help with farm duties, help with taking care of the animals. I would also help my younger siblings in with their schoolwork.
okay. Back in the days, teachers were really respected back in the community and even until now. What are some of the pressures as a firstborn son to a teacher that you went through? Some of those pressure as a young boy growing up?
Wow, there were several pressures that we encountered. One, teachers were regarded as the best in the community, in the villages. And so your dad is rich. People believe your dad is rich and you have money. So they don't understand the struggles that you face, but they know your dad is earning money every month, so he's rich. Because unlike the rest, their parents were not earning unless maybe they had businesses. So you were placed above other siblings. So that means you have to be regarded as role models, even as young people. As young as I was, you have to be number one in class. You have to be the best in school. You have to be the best in church. You have to be people have to follow you. So there are instances where maybe my siblings are not, maybe me, maybe my siblings are not doing well in school, and they tend to be laughed by their peers that Nyati mwalimu, the teacher's daughter is not doing well in school, and so those are the pressures that they had. I also had pressures of maybe when I was getting into adolescent stage, and now you are getting to know your peers and getting to understand the unlike terms, getting to know the ladies, and now people think that your dad is a role model and you're doing this. And in fact, my dad was a church elder for the longest time. So my other name is called Pastor. Pastor means a preacher.
Yes.
And so they think that I'm a pastor and I'm the son of a preacher, also an elder, church elder, and now I should not even have a girlfriend. So when they meet me and find me having a girlfriend and walking with a girlfriend, and it was now a big scene. It was a big talk in the village. This guy, is rotten, something like that, which was not the case. I think we were just identifying ourselves and getting to understand our, the adolescent stage, something that is natural. So it was a pressure from people.
What is one incident that happened to you as a child or while growing up back in Nyatike within Migori County that you've never really outgrown, an incident that you can remember, whereby you felt that you were misjudged, you were bullied, or just an incident that really happened but you've not outgrown it as a child? Be it at school, within the family setup, or within the community.
I'd never say an incident, a particular incident, because I've never been arrested. I've never engaged myself in any these bad cultures. But I think an incident really is when I was in high school. My siblings didn't really believe in me because I never used to read. I never used to love books. Mm, but I always know what I'm doing. So I used to tell them I'm going to pass exams. They're like, no, you are not doing well. You are really not doing well. So they didn't really believe in me. And they just thought I was going to lose it. But I knew, I believed in myself, and I knew I can never lose it. So when I got an A minus from Salgongo, they were so surprised. And they were like, oh, really? So you got an A minus? And I said, yes. I mean, that is, in fact, I have failed. I was supposed to get a straight airplane. So at some point, I felt the family gave up on me, didn't believe in me enough, and I wasn't still destined for greatness. So that aspect really demoralized me at some point. But anyway, I think now they believe in me.
And did it even maybe at some point have you ever doubted yourself?
Never,
Self-doubt.
never. I don't doubt myself.
Okay.
Because I understand myself so well. Nobody understands me, but I understand myself so well. And what I want, I get, or I go for, and I try to achieve. So I have never, ever doubted myself.
Okay, as a young boy growing up, maybe you had, as a family, you had culture whereby that was created in a family. Maybe there are some families whereby they they have cultures for birthdays, they have cultures for where people meet during December holidays. What are some of the cultures that were in your family while growing up and you would wish to carry them through? Maybe you meet during Christmas holiday, there is a culture. So what are some of them that you saw your parents doing and you would wish to carry on as an adult?
Cultures. One, the August camp, SDA camp meetings.
Okay.
That is a serious culture that is in me. And every camp meeting, I have to go home. Be it on a Saturday, I have to be there with them because it's called kitchen. So it's a culture that it's in me. I love it. Kitchen, I have to be there. So that is one. Two, the January 1st. We celebrate January 1st. Every beginning of the new year, at least I have to be home. I'm the eldest boy.
Yes.
And so I have always been going home every 3 months or every 1 month. Every month I have to be home with my parents. And so I understand the progress and everything that is happening at home, be it anything they do. And when we open the new year, we have this culture of uniting, eating, celebrating, and beginning the year together, seeing my parents together. Because if I don't go home, I don't feel like I've opened the new year. So that is a culture that is in me. Though now my siblings are so busy, so packed elsewhere, they don't get to come, but I would love this culture to continue in me, in us, in my family, in everything. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about tell us something brief about your social life because this interview is very candid and raw.
Social life, of course, I'm an outgoing individual.
Yeah.
I have friends, a bunch of friends from high school. I have By the way, I have so many names. So many names. In high school, they gave me around 10 names. In my lower primary or my home bringing, I also had so many names. They used to call me Bill Gates. In short, they call me Abilo. That is from the word Bill Gates. Because they used to believe that I was so ambitious and I was going to make it. And I have to be like Bill Gates. And so, you can only have such kind of names, many names, when your social life is good, when you have friends, when people associate with you. So I'm so outgoing, and in social media platforms, I've got also friends. I participate maybe in giving opinion, in giving comments in different opinions that I also find there. I follow. I am in LinkedIn. I'm in Facebook, Instagram, almost all of them. And now we are participating actively in this YouTube channel. So my social life is cute. But these days it is a bit reserved because you can't open up to so many things. You can't maybe say your moves. You can't maybe say your relationship status on social media. So it's a bit reserved. I think maybe with age and with experiences, it's a bit intact.
Okay, do you have valid childhood friends that you still interact with until now? Because my understanding is as people grow old, they tend to, some friendships at some point, they tend to outgrow them. So do you have even one or specific friendships that were there from childhood that you're still actively participating in?
Respectfully, I have to say no. Because my best friend died. I lost my
I'm
best
sorry.
friend years ago, I think in 2020 during COVID, and he died in a road accident, and it was so painful. It was my best. It was like a brother to me. He was called Young, and I miss him. So he was my best ever friend. So the rest of friends are, of course, friends and relatives who are growing together at home. They're in different places, doing different things. We don't talk on a daily basis. We probably catch up once in a while, and so they are not there. But I've also lost friends, like not dying, but losing them, maybe through trust, breaching of trust, and people doing different things and you no longer do a similar thing. They're in different parts of the world, and so the friendship dies a natural death. So I can't remember any that I can say I started with and we're still intact. But then over time, I've also grown to have friends from other places, from school, from places I've worked, places I've been in, and yeah, I've acquired new friends in life.
Okay, it is so evident that you were raised in a clean, neat background and family setup, and now that maybe most of your siblings are elsewhere, what are some of the things or what are some of the activities you always do to at least make you be still have that conversation or still have that closeness as siblings? Maybe you have conference calls, you meet frequently, intentionally doing activities together that resonate with you as all adults now.
So now, like being the firstborn son,
Yes.
I take care of my family. Like
Yes.
I try to take charge of my family. I'm privileged to say that my siblings have their roles sorted. They have jobs. They're
Yes.
busy elsewhere. So that makes us not meet frequently. But when I miss my siblings, I call them. When I miss my siblings, I go to where they are. I have two sisters in Migori. When I try to miss them and I feel like I miss them, I just go, even without calling them. I just go and find them and talk to them. And I also have four siblings now in Nairobi. Uh, my immediate follower, Geoffrey, is in Nairobi. Mercy is still in school, Medit in Nairobi. Kerry is just done with his high school in Nairobi at Geoffrey's. And the last one is Kofi is still in school at Mangu. So when I miss them, I go to Nairobi as well to see them. But we have a WhatsApp group, a family WhatsApp group, where we constantly communicate, where we constantly talk, where we have ideas, where we exchange different things. We share, But we don't talk on a daily basis. Though I know we have a WhatsApp group where we talk as a family, all of us. And when I miss my siblings, I don't hesitate. I travel to see them.
Okay, what kind of a brother can you describe yourself to be? What kind of a brother are you to your siblings?
Uh, I think I take care of my siblings, their interests, and I chip in a huge way, maybe through advices, maybe physically being there. I can say I'm a good. My opinion about their opinion about me is their opinion. I don't know. Maybe if we ask them, but my opinion about them is that I love all of them, and I would do anything for my family, for my siblings, whatever they want to do, and I'm in a capacity of doing it. I'd never hesitate doing it for my siblings.
Okay, as an adult, most people always have regrets, lessons. What are some of the regrets or lessons that you have that you can mention?
I have so many lessons in life. I have struggles in life. I have success stories in life. But the mistakes that I've done, I would never say I regret doing them because I regard them as experiences that were learned. So I would never specifically indicate a certain occurrence or instance as a regret, really. But I'd say those are life lessons. Those are mistakes anyone makes. So I learned through them, and I don't have any regret.
Okay, what is your mantra for the Global Alliance channel?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, now we are at the GSE.
yes.
The GSE is an interesting story. I'm telling you, the GSE is really an interesting story because the GSE is something that is based on local reporting. The GSE is extending to air to collect information from our local places. It collects information about the poverty lines, about the disease outbreak along the Lake Victoria, or the poor kids that deserve to be in school but are not in school, about young people, the youths that have got talents, they don't have platforms to showcase them, about the Luo cultures that are existing or have ceased to exist, but we want to bring them and show the world. The GSC is not just about climate change. The GSC is not just about regenerative agriculture. The GSC is going to help so many young people understand themselves. The GSC is going to help so many young people who are stuck with school fee, whatever it is, to understand and to pass through education. With the support that we're already getting, with the support that is already there, and the support that we are likely to get from our partners, GSE is going to be a revelation of an active youth idea that helps the local community, that helps our nation, that gives an inspiration to Africa, and gives an inspiration to the entire globe based on things that are happening real time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, where do you see the Global Alliance channel, the GSU, maybe within a span of 5 years from now? Where do you see it as the CEO?
I think the GSC is going to welcome so many partners, both local and international.
Okay.
The GSC is going to be the direction, one of the biggest success stories that ever happened in any of these platforms, because we are doing clean content based on so many issues that are affecting people real time in their daily lives. So the GSE doesn't have jokes. We are not playing here, but because I am enthusiastic about helping our generation and generations to come, the GSE takes a center stage to fund itself and to welcome partners to fund this movement in realizing its objective in the best possible way.
Okay, you are so smart. I can see from head to toe, can see your shoes and everything. Now, do you have maybe a designer or someone who dresses you up? Because I can see you are really smart. That one I have to commend you for that.
Thank you so much.
I hope our viewers can have a full look at you from head to toe. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've got a designer. He is in Nairobi. He used to be my designer from campus days. I told you I studied at the University of Nairobi.
Yes.
And so my designer used to do designs, the suits for me while I was there. Until now, I've retained him. Still give him, a few gigs here and there. And yeah, but of course, being smart depends on your woman as well. She wants you neat, she wants you cool, and she encourages you to look smart and to be decent every other time. Like, she reminds me, when you go to work, please don't go without ironing your shirts, without ironing your clothes. Please wake up and spare some 10 minutes to be neat. So that also depends on who you date or who is in your life, in your daily life. Someone who is clean, someone who wants you to be clean, someone who recognizes the need to be. So it's also partner based.
Oh, that's great. So most young men, as we are almost closing, most young men nowadays behave in a way, or they have some character traits that are not pleasing, and they always peg it on childhood trauma. Do you have anything surrounding childhood trauma, something that happened to you as a child that maybe is being shown in your adulting life?
Childhood trauma, no. I don't have any childhood trauma because one, I was raised by my parents, both of them. I
Okay.
was never, I didn't go to live at any other person's place. And my dad was so strict, he didn't want us to go and visit, aunties, uncles, the shoshos. He was very, very strict. So he wanted us to be home all the time. So, that close monitoring makes you understand yourself. So I don't remember having, I only remember when I was growing up, my dad used to beat me up because I had mistakes and he wanted me to be the best, and he wanted me to be a role model to the family. So at that moment, I would say, yeah, that used to happen, but it's never a trauma. It was just making me straight.
Okay, lastly, or second last question that I will ask on the growing up relationship with your family, your parents. What are some of the things you used to see your dad doing to your mom that you would really wish to do it to your wife, and vice versa? What are some of the things you used to see your, because most people always they learn through their parents or people around them.
Uh, my dad was the best dad because he took us to school, because he supported us when he didn't have enough. All of us, all the seven of us, and he was still a family man. He was still guiding us. His presence was felt every moment, every time. So I would love to be like my dad, and I would still love to be more than my dad. Being a primary teacher with his earnings, he did that. But I want to have more earnings and do better to to the people that are around me and my family. So my dad, one virtue that I know about him was a quiet man. He was a thoroughly mature gentleman. Because I didn't see any instance where he was violent at my mother or he was violent with any of us. He could just cane us when we make mistakes. But you see, my dad would be a quiet man most of the times. And he used to be a cruel man. I think he used to have temper issues, so he knew how to control them. And I'd love to be in charge of my tempers every moment, whether I have mistakes with my woman, whether we are quarreling or anything. I'd love to be really in control of my tempers and in charge of my tempers and in charge of the situations like my dad used to.
Okay. Is there anything that maybe, as we close the interview, is there anything that maybe you would wish to talk about that we've not tackled?
I want to tell our viewers today that an idea starts when you incept it.
Yes.
This is the inception stage of the GSC. We've been trying to do many content here and there. We are still doing our best from the beginning, but I want to encourage everybody out there that start it. If you have an idea, you have to start it to make it a reality. Because if you don't start, it becomes a dream. And it will remain a dream, a dream, a dream, and a dream. Start from wherever you are. Start with whatever you have. You may need support from people. They might not come through. They might be in positions to support you, but they are not coming through. Why? Because you still have a dream. Make your dreams realities by starting now. Anything you want to do, you want to sing, you don't have money, sing, record with your phone. Start now, start now. And I would love to say, when I was in high school, our English teacher, Mr. Mahinya, used to say this: procrastination is the best thief of time.
Yes.
Procrastination is continuously prolonging an activity. When you're supposed to do something in the morning, maybe you have reports to file at work, and you're supposed to file them on a Friday morning, and you say, I'll file them in the course of the day. The course of the day, you're busy, you don't do them. I'll file them at night. At night. So that is the procrastination. It's the best thief of time. You will realize that in 2 months, in 1 month, you've not done anything because you continue saying, I will do it. So do it now. Start now. Do it now. And let us realize our dreams together. I also want to wish to thank everybody who's been subscribing and listening to us. Continue supporting us and to continue being there for us in everything that we do, because we are going to make it together as a unit, as a family, as friends, as youth. Thank you.
Okay, bye everybody. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and support us. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.